Hey, RetconRaider here, with special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Matthew Smith, Revenant, Alois, Anerdinwarpaint, Dragon Matrix 7, Eerie V23, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Kazorm, Nathan Welch Jr., Tomasz, Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. As today, we really just kind of do stuff. Normally I like to have a loose outline for what I want to accomplish in an episode. But I have no idea where this whole thing with Thaberdine is going, so I guess we'll start with that, and if we have time left over, we'll do some crusading, or maybe hit an optional location or something. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I've also been informed, vaguely, to avoid specific spoilers, that apparently the daggers may not really matter to Trickster. Apparently they're specifically for a separate path, but may end up coming up again later for other paths, so I guess we'll just tuck them away for now and worry about that stuff much, much later down the line. Alright, Cobb. Let's head on back. The hippogriff spreads his wings. So now we will, of course, make a beeline for Thaberdine, see what he's got to say about all this and what else he might have for us. And yeah, we'll just tuck the daggers here for now until if and when they may ever be needed again. Though we do have to be careful, there is apparently a soft limit on how much you can actually store at a time. So, worst case scenario, we'll just sell this stuff and buy it back when needed. To the tavern, my friends. The birthplace of many an adventure. Wow, Thaberdine, I see you've wasted no time in gathering your own entourage there. With judicious use of a thesaurus, it would seem. Empty mugs are lined up on the table in front of Thaberdine, like knights on parade. He's singing a song, off-key, but with great emotion as he drinks his beer. The motley crowd that is gathered around him sings along, and a chubby pig sits at his feet, oinking in time to the tune. Oh, Mama, forgive me for going down the slippery slope. I don't know what tune that's supposed to be. Oh, Commander, nice of you to stop by. Sit down and have a drink with us. My treat. Wait, I'm paying for all this. How are you? Are you going to liberate the City of Eyes soon? I'm working on it, Your Majesty. How are things on your end? Couldn't be better. I sleep in a bed, I eat as much as I want, I've got new friends, the ladies are all over me. Yes, I'm fit as a flea. Kings would envy such life. Oh, but I am a king, so I'll envy myself. And what's that you're singing there? The song? Ah, it's an ancient Sarkorian ballad about knights and heroes and all that. My pops used to sing when he was in his cups. Poured his heart and soul into the words. He even brought me to tears. I'll bet. So who's this you've gathered around you? The best people in the city. Honest fellows, pretty girls, and when they sing, it's like flowers blooming in my ears. That sounds horrifying. Don't just stand there. Say hello to the commander. The friendly smiles of those gathered around the table display a collection of teeth so rotten they could be featured in a teaching manual at a school of dentistry. Bleary-eyed drunkards, merry bards, cunning cheats, young men and women of easy virtue dressed in flashy attire. All of them are trying to show how glad they are to see you. A king's gotta have his court, right? He's got to, I'm telling you. When I sit on the throne in eyes, I'll give all of you noble titles. There'll be dukes and counts. Everyone will bow and say, Your Grace? Yeah, sure. I don't see why it wouldn't work that way. So Thaberdine, you know, we never really got much of a chance to talk back in the throne room. Why don't you tell me a bit more about yourself before we get back to business? Well, Thaberdine scratches his stubbly chin, thinking. So, I come from a great family, blue blood, golden bones, all my ancestors. I can't swing a cat without hitting a king or a duke. I was born in Mendev, but that's just because my grandpa, the old geezer, fled here from demons when the world wound slid apart and Sargeras went kaput. Right. I'm no historian, but so far this does seem to check out. The world wound did indeed open, and there were some people who fled from it. Our family found a new thing to do in a strange land. My pops and grandpa knew about horses. They were knights, you know, also kings and dukes. Mounted action, jousts, races, that sort of thing. They dragged me along too, put me to work in the stables. But it wasn't my thing. You know, it's not a king's job to write down bets, haggle with horse rustlers, muck out stalls. Disgusting. That's what it is. When I was a kid, I decided I couldn't live with myself if I didn't get my family lands back. And when I heard the news that you took Dresden back from the demons, well, everything inside me bloomed roses and daisies, and the birds started chirping. I realized this was my chance. So I grabbed all my things and I rushed here. That's the whole story. And quite a story it is, Your Majesty. I'm convinced. I mean, I was already convinced, but now I'm double convinced. But I do have some questions, because, you know, I went to Pelura's Fall, I found that stone tablet you mentioned, and I've got to say I am a bit perplexed about what I found on it. Which ancestors did you say were mentioned on here? Thaberdine gives a loud, startled hiccup and chokes on his beer. Ow? There's no way you could have gone there, but, well, then again, you are the commander. You've been to worse places. Fine. I'll tell you. First of all, my name should be there. Thaberdine Quintissimus Hierophantal. When I was born, the name appears on the stone tablet. It's magical. You haven't forgotten that, have you? Before me, there'd be my pops, Badgill the Ugly Mug. I mean, no, that's what I called him as his son. His full name was Badgillian Ugly Muggius Hierophantal. Before him, there was our grandpa, the one who fled from demons. Gektinal Gizarius Hierophantal. And then, let me see here. I know them all by heart. I can list everyone since the founding of Sargeras. Before my grandpa, there was King... Thaberdine's yellow eyes shift around the tavern. King Tableman. Before him, Queen Pintabira. Before her, the great ruler, Samwidge, the bread slasher, who slew an army of trolls by himself and invented broth with dumplings. Oh, the noble Sandwich. You know, I always thought he was an earl, but I stand corrected. Your power resonates with each of Thaberdine's shameless lies. The ancient letters on the stone tablet waver and shimmer like a mirage. You feel as if you can bring the tales of this drunken false king to life. Well, I mean, obviously we're not going to pass that opportunity up. By the gods, it's all true. Every word of it. What? As Thaberdine stares at the stone tablet in your hands, his yellow eyes widen. The ancient moss-covered letters repeat his words exactly. I said so. It's all true, down to the last word. There's even a crest, just like the one on my sword. Dustin. Ow, what's this in my pocket? Thaberdine puts his hands in his pocket, rummages for a few long moments, then takes out an intricate golden coronet. The words, "I am king," are engraved on the coronet in large letters. Oh, B, I even have a crown. I already knew that, though. I've always had it. I just, forgot. The newly minted monarch of Sarkarus puts his hands on his hips. Well, since we have, proven what no one ever doubted was true, why don't we hold a coronation for me? I think it's about time. So wait, you've just had that this entire time? What do you mean? Of course I have. I got it from my pops. He got it from his grandpa. I've always carried it with me. I just forgot to show you. Thaberdine scratches his head, as if uncertain of his own words, but then drowns his doubts with a gulp of beer. Right, it's always been there, because I'm the real king. What kind of king doesn't have a crown, I ask you? You know, that is true. I don't think I've met a single king during this adventure who was not wearing a crown. Also, I haven't met any kings, so that doesn't give me much of a control group, but I'll assume that's right. All right, Your Majesty. I'll go take care of that coronation thing. Don't you worry. Thy will be done. Yes, go forth to new feats. Here's to you, Commander. Thaberdine salutes you with a mug and takes a drink. Well, I feel like we've done some good work today. This could very well be our crowning achievement. I am curious just how extensive our powers are, though. Like, did we just alter a tablet with transmutation and conjure up a crown? Or did we actually alter reality, akin to the Aeon, mucking with the timeline? You know what? Let's hit the pause button real quick. We've got vendor trash and some bookkeeping. And I'd like to chat with a couple of NPCs real quick. Captain Sailkind in particular. Just to see if anything has changed. We'll be right back. And we're back. And no, thus far there do not appear to be any ripple effects. Which doesn't mean we're not necessarily altering reality. It just might mean we're in a very small localized area right now. Maybe as the absurdity ramps up, it'll start taking firmer root in a wider expanse or something. Or maybe everyone will just think we're crazy and eventually come and try to depose the weird fool king that we've propped up on the throne. I mean, whatever comes next, it obviously hinges on us completing this ridiculous coronation event that we have now unlocked. Great happiness has rained down on the lands of Sarkarus. His Majesty Thaberdine Quintissimus Hierophantal, the only living descendant of the line which, as every Sarkarus citizen knows, and if he doesn't, he isn't worth respecting, had once ruled all Sarkarus, has returned to his battered country to lead it in this dark moment, and bring it redemption from tyranny and lassitude. Having heard his subjects' orisons, His Majesty is prepared to fulfill his people's wishes by officially accepting the crown and ascending to the throne. Festivities will be announced by His Grace in the city after the coronation. Beside themselves with joy, His Majesty's servants, including the commander and others whose names do not matter, should as soon as possible provide the city with ale, punch, wine, grog, moonshine, liqueur, and other essential attributes of a monarch's coronation. I'm curious if that'll end up setting up like a causal absurdity feedback loop, where the more people who hear about it, the stronger it becomes and the more firmly it takes root in reality. There's a lot of very strange possibilities here. And as aforementioned, having a pet king in our pocket, especially one as easily manipulated as King Thaberdine, would certainly work to our advantage in other ways. Anyway, we are headed for the Ashen Grotto. We're going to take like a circuitous route just to fill in some map here. And this should hopefully give us some nice action to round out the episode with. No random encounters. But we are fatigued, so let's knock out some crusading before we rest. Yeah, we can do that. Oh, I see. Yeah, I do appreciate them clustering together like that for us. It really simplifies these fights. A hard-fought and well-earned victory. Nicely done. The monsters that opposed the Crusaders were truly abominable. Their bodies manifested weird mutations. Extra eyes, unpaired limbs, mouths in their bellies, and withered half-grown heads, helplessly dangling on their shoulders. The leader of this heinous cohort was just a pile of moving flesh, who struggled to retain its humanoid appearance. Even as it died, it continued to stir a monstrous brew in a large, rotund cauldron. Shuddering with disgust, the Crusaders peered inside the cauldron and managed to retrieve some of its hideous contents. Chunks of bodies belonging to demons, mortals, and other unknown creatures twitched convulsively, still alive. The soldiers did not know what to do with this vile trophy and delivered it to the commander. Oh, well. Thanks, guys. You really shouldn't have, but, I guess this is a thing we have now in our inventory. Whatever happened to just burning things? Oh, and we can't reach this fortress. It just dead ends here. Interesting. Okay, I guess we'll head south? Yes, let's go for that one. Hey, guys. Yeah, type formations don't really work out in a world with, battle magic. The old mines where dwarves would mine priceless crystals are now abandoned. The group of demons that had made its lair there tried to defend their territory from the Crusaders, but to no effect. Yeah, I'd say that was, well worth the 10-second detour. Hey, and we gained a level. Nice. Oh, shoot. I would like to take salvage, but it's just not practical. Not when we're presented with much stronger options like Experienced Traveler or Master of Maneuver. And you know, as tempting as more movement is, our real limiting factor is not how far we can move, it's how many times we can cast Fireball. So I'm thinking we'll pass on Experienced Traveler, at least for now, and just grab an extra unit instead. We're going to have way more units than we know what to do with after a certain point, and it is nice to have a place for them all to go. Okay, so where are we headed from here? You know what? That might actually be too much for us. stacks of cultists that deep would do a lot of damage with channeling, so let's avoid that for now. Let's do a haste scroll. We could always use more of those. Oh shoot, do I not have a rank 4 scribing kit? I'll have to keep that in mind. Curse peel-off is fine. We have no shortage of ingredients.
Hand on heart, the first time I saw you face to face, I thought you were like all the other snobs who won't even spare 2 words for people lower than them. But you're all right.
Of course I mix freely with the lower classes. It is the simplest way to enrage the stuffy gatekeepers of high society.
You know, I've never really seen them interact much. That's interesting. Ashen Grotto. The bare bones of humans and animals are scattered at the entrance to this spacious cave. The putrid stench of smoke and rotten meat emanates from inside. Whoever resides here must only interrupt their gruesome feast to go hunting for more fresh meat. Sounds delightful. Okay, let's hit the pause button real quick. I'll get our 400 buffs set up, and we'll do this thing. Be right back. And we are indeed back. Onward to adventure, my friends. Always nice to balance out the talky parts with some actual action. Mushrooms in the shape of a skull. Very, very subtle. The disemboweled corpses are a nice touch, too. Oh, well, hello there. Okay. This kind of trivializes the whole fight, but I will happily take advantage of that, I guess. Ah. What? How dare you? I'll tear your legs off so you'll never go wandering in other people's caves again. Will you?
Retreat is not an option.
Well, that was easy. But we're not quite done yet. We've got a side tunnel. Oh. Oh. Crap. That's a high-end swarm. We are not really set up for those. We've got Ember, but not much else. Oh, good. Okay, I did not sell all of our Alchemist's Fire. Yeah, that barely put a dent in their health pool. Okay, we've got Acid Maw. Not much, but it's something. One damage. Thanks, Reg. Yeah, I mean, we'll keep piling it on. It does add up. How about this? Ember, save us. And there we go. Thank goodness. Yeah, we've only faced rat swarms thus far. Real swarms are rough. Reminds me of the terror of early pre-patch and pre-balance Kingmaker. Back when they still had spider swarms at like level 5 or 6 in Act 1. More ash giants. This we can handle.
I won't let you hurt my friends.
Oh my goodness, I spoke too soon. Yeah, we have multiple swarms bearing down on us. Also, Thraz the Spinebreaker, but I'm not really all that concerned about him. Distractions on deck. And fall back. We need Darren in tip-top shape to fix us up after this mess. Hang back. Oh my goodness, that was even worse than I thought it would be. Okay, both mounts, both riders. Bubonic Plague. We can probably fix that. All right. Trimming the giants is trivial. What we really need to focus on here is scattering our party, both to avoid mass con damage, but also to hopefully keep these things distracted from Ember. Okay, nice. Yes, we took one out. Not the one I was hoping to take out, but one is better than none. Scatter, scatter. Nice, very helpful. Keep hammering the giants.
Kneel before me.
Darren could do damage with his holy crossbow, but I really don't want to put him at risk. We already need, like, 4 restorations. Oh, okay. Yes, nice. I can live with that. Thank you, helpful. You continue being very helpful. That's the giants. Ember, it's all you. And that'll do it. Thank goodness. Oh, boy. Yeah. Swarms are awful. I mean, we actually got out of this relatively lightly compared to how it could have gone. But that is still basically 6 spells we need for recovery.
I welcome your company.
Yeah, let me parcel out the healing real quick. This is going to take a moment, but I think we can fix all this. There we go. More or less good as new. Let's see if this was worth it. Okay, minor belt of strength. Not great, but potentially useful. Recipe for cheese crostata. And Nature's Kohler. Color? +4, Great Club, Corrosive. On crit or on kill, enemies in a 15-foot radius must pass a high difficulty fortitude save, or suffer 2d6 additional piercing damage, as bugs are awakened and leave the club. Well, that is both interesting and fairly unsettling. Potentially useful, too, if we actually had characters set up for great weapons, but... I mean, in our case, that's just 17,000 gold pieces, which we will happily take. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to say with roughly 20,000 gold worth of loot and a recipe for a delicious cheese dish, this was, in fact, worth it. Hey, magic essence. Nice. And we also need to figure out what happened to the storyteller, because all these components are useless until we find him. Oh, missed something. But nothing of note. Just more vendor trash. Okay, I think that's more than enough TikTok for today. We've still got some time left, so I guess we'll start pushing up towards that bend in the river. So which way should we... I guess we'll go to the right. That would take us past Pitfall, and we can grab those ingredients while we're out there. Do we have movement points? We do. Very nice. Raid for Plunder is complete. That gives us a lot more wiggle room on projects and crafting and whatnot. I might upgrade a few of our outposts off screen. Then we have a new relic quest and strengthening the chain of command, which is just a sporadically appearing project we can use to accelerate our crusade growth. Nothing we have to worry about just yet. We'll get those going once the opportunity presents itself. Yeah, going after these guys is too risky, especially with just one fireball on tap. So we will instead push south. See if we can pick off some of the easier armies down here. I really need to come up with some halfway decent names for these Crusade legions as well. I'll probably just go alliterative. I've always been a fan of the Starship Troopers naming methodology. We've got reinforcements on tap. I'll take care of that off screen. And fatigued, but that should not interfere with trying to gather ingredients, since that is an intelligence and wisdom-based skill check. Oh, nice. We actually passed both checks. I was not expecting that. Oh, army approaching. Where? Relatively weak. Should be able to take them out with Setsuna Shy. Yeah, so we'll avoid that army with Agaboya's troop. Agaboya's artillery? Agaboya's assassins. And have Setsuna's guys set up near Gloomy Gorge, lying in wait for their approach. Since we've got reinforcements on tap, I might rearrange what units we have in each army too. But again, that's all off-screen between episode bookkeeping. New events. Bribery's done. That's more materials at the cost of finances. And First Blood. One of the officers has been bringing recruits to the prison so that they could fight weakened captives and kill them. He wanted to prepare the newcomers for their first battle. But unfortunately, during one of the training sessions, one of the soldiers got killed, and everything came to light. Yeah, that's going to happen when you back people into a corner and force them to fight for their lives. Sometimes they actually succeed. I actually really do wish we had Wendy around for this one. But given our current options, I'm going to say, I think even someone like Vex would balk at the idea of his men just butchering prisoners. The cruel treatment of the prisoners tarnished the honor of the Crusaders. Many of the soldiers were inspired by the commander's noble actions. Yeah, we'll go with that. I think that's ascribing more noble intention to Vex than he probably deserves, but good optics. Strengthening diplomatic connections. Are we ready to hit rank 4 already? Jeez. That is going way faster than I remember it. But sure, yeah, we'll get that going. More Lady Konomi. Can't wait. 6 more days on the Sword of Valor. 9 more days on Chronux thing. Ooh, Duelist. We already pulled 15 for free from that diplomacy event, but this will help make them more viable. Main party is fatigued, but let's push Agaboya's forces up before we set up camp. Yeah, we can do that. Nice. And I think this is going to adequately display why I refrain from upgrading our infantry into shieldmen. They're all defense, no mobility or significant offense. Ow, I guess. If they had some way to force enemies to focus on them, like a taunt or similar ability, then that would make them a lot more viable, because then you could toss them out in front of the rest of your crew and protect more fragile units like the marksmen or the rogues that we nuked on turn 1 here. But as it stands in the current Crusade battle system, there's no real engagement or aggro system as far as I can tell, which really does kind of trivialize the Shieldman's main intended function. Marksmen are nice, though. We might go for those. Or for Rangers. Those might be more thematic. No victory text. That's disappointing. But we did get a new outpost, Treasonholm. That might actually be a good spot for a teleportation circle. It's right towards the center of the map. Can we do one more? Yeah, we do not have enough for another fireball, so probably best to hold off. There's no rush. We're already making pretty good time on the whole Crusade thing. And you know what? We're not quite at time. So yes, let's set up camp. We'll go for Waljif's thing.
I've heard that succubi can take on any guise, male or female. Does that mean that you prefer to appear as a woman?
To achieve my ends, I became what people wish me to be. But I've never considered what I might wish myself to be. You've given me food for thought. Thank you.
Interesting. I thought that was the whole point of incubi, was that they were the male equivalent of succubi. But if a succubus can just change its perceived gender, what niche do incubi fill? Huh. Okay, y'all know the drill. Let's hit the pause button real quick. I'll set up our 400 buffs, and we'll be right back. Behold, I have returned, as the prophecy foretold. Just a few minutes ago when I said I would be back. Hey guys. Your Gefless spawn did not come alone. The giant Gulbrizu towers over you, his small yellow eyes glowing amidst the lumps and horns, come to rest on Waljif. The demon's pincers instinctively close with a bone-grinding snap, and his nostrils flare. Spawn of Yegeflis. Lady Hepsamira ordered me to bring her the moon of the abyss. Give it to me, and I will kill you quickly. Is he talking to me? He's definitely talking to me. Waljif takes a step back. Hey, Hornhead. I'm the spawn of my ma and da. I don't even want to think about where you crawled out of. Have at it, Chief. Show him your special chiefly mojo. Yeah, one sec, Waljif. Let me gather some intel real quick. Jeez. So, who do we have here? Know that you face Vex Godglove, Slayer of Armies. Also Kaz, Biter of Ankles. Who are you to take such an impertinent tone with me and my vassal? Know the name of the one who will squeeze out your innards. Votiel, Gorger of Screams. Hepsamira's Scourging Lash and Baphomet's Faithful. You will die begging me for mercy. Cool. Spooky stuff. So who or what is Yegeflis? A demon who sowed his seed on Golarion. From his seed grew the coward currently hiding behind you. He will die more slowly and painfully than you, in retribution for everything Yegeflis has done to vex my mistress. Right, and that would be... Hepsamira? Do I have that right? My mistress is the High Priestess of Lord Baphomet. I will fulfill her command, and she will honor me with her blessing. And why are you two so hot about getting your hands on Waldjef? Or is this all just about the Moon of the Abyss? Yeah, what's this all about? I ain't never seen you before in my life. Maybe you got me confused with somebody else? Another Waldjef, maybe? Or a guy with horns like mine? You're Yegeflis' spawn. That is reason enough to kill you. But my mistress also needs the item you stole. The Moon of the Abyss. No more talking! Die, traitorous seed! Waldjef is wreathed in blue flame, and the demon's shadow rises up behind him. Have at it, Chief. Pilgrims of the World Wound, attack! Fight for me! I'll be over there, monitoring your performance. The cultists exchange looks and make no move to fight. At last, the chief cultist speaks. We will not fight against a demon. Demons are our future masters. We cannot show insubordination. What has gotten into you, Crescent of the Abyss? You're not trying to betray us, are you? Waldjef slaps a hand to his forehead. Ah, I forgot. They're not just dumb as planks, they're stubborn as mules, too. Quick, Chief, say something to him. You'll be more persuasive than me. Yeah, I'm on it. Come on, guys. You've inexplicably trusted Waldjef this far. You really gonna throw that away the first time some random demon pops up? Pretty sure this guy's just an assassin sent by one of Baphomet's enemies. Once Waldjef's dead, what's to say he won't just turn around and kill you guys next? The chief cultist strokes his chin. Crescent of the Abyss kept his word. He led us here as he promised. Nevertheless, the demon wants him dead. Yes, something isn't adding up here. The time for vengeance has come.
Close ranks.
Treachery! Treachery! Attack! For Baphomet! For Votiel! Duval, buddy, you really need to work on that timing, but good to see you, I guess. Alright, well, plan B it is. The B stands for Bloodbath. Bloodbath and beyond. Yeah, I'm not worried about this guy at all. We've already killed like 12 of these things. But I am slightly more worried about the casters, so let's start with those guys. Nice, nice. Poor guys. Almost feel bad for him. Helpful, could you... Thank you. And that's the cultists. Sad, but I guess they did have it coming.
Retreat is not an option. You are nothing before me.
I'll find you, spawn of Yegeflis. You will be bathed in blood. How'd he know about Plan B? Waldjef looks supremely satisfied. What do you make of that Vodiel then, Chief? Whew. So, will you take me back? There's nothing for me to do on my own in the World Wound, and we do kind of make a good team. I promise not to run away again, as long as we don't get attacked by gargoyles again. If they do, sorry, Chief, but they're scary. I'm out of there. The tiefling laughs. I'm kidding. I really won't run away again. Really. I feel like we already did this, Weljif, and I already accepted you back, but, I guess I should ask you what the deal is with these angry demons. I don't know anything about any demons. That's the first time I ever saw that Vodiel beast, but he sure seemed to have it in for me. He doesn't just want the moon of the abyss, he wants me to suffer. And that mistress of his, Hipsa, whatever she's called. There's something fishy going on here, Chief. I'm telling you. I want to get to the bottom of it because something tells me we'll be seeing Vodiel again. I know his type. Once they get a hold of you, they don't let go. Weljif runs a hand through his shock of hair. Here's how it is. There's this demon, Yegephilis, the one that Vodiel and his mistress are so worked up over. If I'm supposed to be his spawn, then maybe he's my grandpa? I believe it. He's caused so much trouble that people even want to bump off his grandkids. Yep, that sounds like my family, all right. Yegephilis did something to Vodiel's boss. Maybe he stole the moon from her? I don't know. Anyway, she sent her top muscle to find it, the muscle being Vodiel. And now I'm the poor sap who's supposed to pay for all of Granddaddy's evil deeds? See, demons are just the same as low-class thugs when you get down to it. But I ain't giving them the moon. Even the shadow started talking to me because of it. And then there's... Weljif stops short. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. That's a separate discussion. Weljif, buddy, that sounds like it might be important, but sure, I'll follow up with you later. And yeah, you can stay. I already said you could stay. As long as I can trust you. I swear on my ma and da. To be fair, I'm not sure if they're alive or dead, but even dead people can have a lot happen to them. They can be raised from the dead or just dug up to be used in experiments. I knew one old-timer, a street food vendor, who would buy fresh corpses. He was looking into something, almost as if, well, anyway, it doesn't matter. What matters is this. I need to talk to you. I don't have anyone else. Face to face, somewhere private. In, Dresden, that'll do. When you see me standing alone, come talk to me. Weljif notices Duval and waves to him. Chief, you remember Duval, right? First he was lying on the altar, then he was tied up on the floor. He's led a varied life, is what I'm saying. Want to say hello? He's basically one of us. He won't look down his nose at us, and he's rich to boot. Maybe you can shake something out of him, for helping him? Even an IOU would be better than nothing. Yeah, sure, why not? It's always nice to get back to our roots, shaking down wealthy aristocrats for absurdly disproportionate rewards. Hey, Duval, what's up, buddy? Duval, noticeably fatigued after the battle, walks over to you and Weljif. It was a fine fight. It was tough for me, but it's the first time in a long while that I've felt human again, and not a mute animal. Thank you. That was you, mute. You're an even bigger talker than me, Your Excellency. Only you sound like a library book, and I sound like a back alley gutter. I learned my letters on the streets, from the signs. Anyway, that's by the by. I wasn't planning on saving you, I just didn't want you to pop up in my dreams looking all pathetic and asking, Why, Weljif, why didn't you save me? Nah, I don't need that kind of hassle in my life. Duval laughs. I'm sure nothing could break your irrepressible spirit. The young Crusader bows to you. Commander, I don't know how to thank you for saving me. Iomedae must truly be watching over me, and I must do everything in my power to repay her. Sure, yeah, no reason to thank Callistria for helping you in your quest for vengeance. So where are you headed next, buddy? Not back to Dresden, is it? Ha! I'm getting out of this place and returning to the ranks of the Crusaders. Don't worry about me. Even if I should die on the way back, I'll die a warrior's death. If this crusade has taught me anything, it's the value of an honorable death. A death worthy of a man. Time to go. I fear scavengers will swarm here before we decide if it's worth burying the bodies. Duval turns to Waljev. Thanks again, my friend. If you ever find yourself in Gwenviar land in eastern Mendev, I can ask my parents to find you a position suited to your talents. The Gwenviars are always in need of good, reliable men. Waljev, who had been listening with a smile up to now, abruptly stops smiling. Good man. I'm not a man, Your Excellency, and I won't be your servant, neither. Do you think you're doing me a good turn? You posh people are all alike. Even if I saved your skin a dozen times, you'd never see me as your equal. You can take your gratitude and shove it. And don't call me friend. Well, Jeff, I feel like that might be a bit harsh, but, I mean, I kind of get it. Yeah, look, Duval, I know you think you're being generous here, but I gotta side with Waljev. You want to show your gratitude, don't do it by trying to make someone beholden to you. Waljev barks a contemptuous laugh, but the disappointment is clear as day on his face. You sang a different tune when you were stuck in a cage, looking for sympathy like a lost lamb. Huh, that's Blue Bloods for you. Oh, see, now you've done it. Now he's all upset and righteously indignant. You know what could make this right is an actual physical reward, like no strings attached. Got one for us? Oh. Duval looks slightly disappointed. Unfortunately, I don't have any money on me. I only managed to find my belongings with difficulty. Please accept this enchanted ring as a sign of my gratitude. I found it in the pile of weapons back at the cultist's camp. But I shall remain in your debt. Cool, and just like that, we're all friends again. You know, as much as I love seeing you, buddy, we really had this under control. We had already tricked the cultists into helping us. We were going to watch them all kill each other. It was going to be great. Duval furrows his brows. Sorry, but with all due respect, that is wrong. We are supposed to be fighting evil, not taking on cultists as allies. I'm sorry you wasted your time convincing them, but I acted as it best pleases Iomedae. Alright, if you insist. I mean, I feel like dead is dead, and if we can get them that way without having to put ourselves at risk, all the better. But hey, we'll just chalk it up to different worldviews and go our separate ways. See you around, Duval. It has been interesting. Duval salutes you. May Iomedae watch over you, Commander. I shall pray for you. Alright, let's go, Chief. On to new adventures. I'm sick of this place, to tell the truth. It's empty, it's boring, and we might as well talk on the road instead of hanging around here. Do you know any traveling songs? Want me to teach you some tavern tunes? The one where the thief falls in love with a beautiful woman and she turns out to be a guard and the two of them get hacked up in the street? Or how about the one where the thief's in court and the judge is his father? Or that one about how if you don't behave yourself, you'll live out your days in a special institution? I remember them all. And we've got plenty of time. That we do, Waljev. In theory. But the way you phrased that does give me pause. Okay, so we got Steady Finger from Duval. +2 Ring of Protection, which also grants a +3 bonus on touch attacks. Oh man, if that stacks with those new gloves we found, then that's a net +7 to hit with ranged touch attacks. No type listed on the gloves, that's promising. Oh, shoot. Never mind. Yeah, we don't have enough fingers, especially not Ember. Well, I guess we'll just toss that to Nenio instead. We got a whole boatload of nice vendor trash. We'll certainly take that. And a magic belt. The Belt of Demonic Shadow. Really? It feels a bit on the nose considering Waljif's thing, but sure, why not? Whenever the wearer casts a spell of level 6 or higher, it summons a challenge rating 7 Shadow Demon to fight alongside them. If a demon has already been summoned, then casting more such spells will heal it instead. I mean, that sounds fun, but at the same time, we are already level 11. I feel like a challenge rating 7 Shadow Demon's not exactly going to be contributing much. I do like the concept. I just feel like we'd get better mileage out of our attribute belts. Still worth 10,000 gold, though, so I am certainly not complaining. Duval, sup, buddy? You should probably get moving. Hey, here we go. Ah, just more vendor trash, but fair enough. Gold is gold. And with that, I think we're done here. A troop of dead cultists, a fair amount of loot, a new ally, and a new mystery to solve. All that in 20 minutes, not too shabby. Yeah, we're ending just on the cusp of my cutoff point. I mean, look, I'm not averse to running over the hour mark every once in a while. I just have a handyman who's supposed to be here in like 10 minutes, and it's going to get really awkward if I'm still doing this when he shows up. That said, we'll hit the pause button for now. I will tend to the off-screen bookkeeping, mostly recruiting, maneuvering the armies, deciding where to allocate our new funds from that pillaging. And we will pick up here next time. We'll touch on the highlights of whatever crusade stuff I do, follow up with Waljif, and I guess start pursuing our next major quest, either Winter Sun or the Dragon thing. See you then! Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon. Links are in the description.
You've given me food for thought. Thank you.